Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. Today we're meeting with Julie Furman, Cupid's coach, and let's go ahead and dive in to our first question. Ms. Furman, who do you match and for what purpose?
I love doing personal introductions for both men and women. It's rare for matchmakers these days, but I love matching men and women. It's a little different for matching women than it is matching men.
And how did you get started in this industry? What inspired you?
Well, I went to a dating service. I spent some money. Later on, I flirted with the guy who sold me that membership, and we got quickly engaged and quickly married and pregnant, and we've been together for 34 years, two boys now grown. So I joined my husband in his business, which was video dating, and then we sold those companies later, and I started my personal matchmaking company, um, and became Cupid's coach in 2001.
For how many
So you
years have you
sold
been a
your
matchmaker?
I've been providing introductions for people since 1990. So that's right now 34 years. And I've done matchmaking every way that there is to do it. I've tried every way that there is to do it. And I like the model that I'm working with right now just beautifully.
You know the
you obviously
industry A to Z.
yeah, you obviously like I mean Julie does not need an introduction, to be honest, but it's a format. We're following a format. Um Julie, I just wanted to follow up on your I didn't know the story. The story how you got into matchmaking. I didn't know that bit. Somehow I missed it. And I was at your conferences before when you were mentoring other matchmakers. um, and I somehow didn't hear that story, or I just was not listening. Let me ask you. So, as you got into matchmaking, obviously inspired by matchmaking results you got yourself, what is the main problem that you're seeing in the matchmaking industry, and what is the main problem you're trying to solve in the matchmaking industry with your own service or your own business?
Great question, Tim. I think the biggest problem in the matchmaking industry is that only a very small sliver of the population within the matchmaking databases is being served. And more over time, matchmaking has become a luxury for high net worth people and those who want to live that lifestyle. So it's that's one way of doing matchmaking. It's kind of the easy way. It's kind of the lazy way. It's kind of the sloppy way, I think, because there are so many people out there in the world who aren't able to get a matchmaking referral. So the company that I built, we started from the beginning, embracing people from free to VIP. And the minute I get them on the phone, the minute they start the registration process, I'll help them finish it so that they'll be available to me for referral. And I'm not just here to serve current clients. If somebody's ever been my client, if they've done a coaching consultation, if they've done my boot camps, they're eligible for referrals. Every single one of those people has a complete full profile with photos. I take the time to do that up front. I don't wait for them to pay before I do work for them.
And that's
Ms.
a
Furman,
difference.
you've been doing this for a phenomenal amount of time. I don't think I ever met a matchmaker that has this much experience, a matchmaking company with such a combined experience like you have. Obviously, you enjoy what you do, your craft, you love it. What are some of the challenges that you face? What makes you question yourself sometimes?
The biggest challenge that I see right now is that because of online dating, our culture has gotten, it's changed. Our culture has gotten very visual oriented. Men are visual by nature. They're always visual. I can't get a guy to say yes to an introduction if he's not attracted at some level to who she is on the visuals. But we girls, we can fall in love with men over time if we're studying your character, if you make us laugh, if we respect you and feel comfortable with you, you get better looking. But the way dating is done today with the swiping apps, really good men are getting thrown in the trash. And what happens is the same four guys are selected all day long. And the same four women are selected all day long. And the online dating sites perpetuate this because popular people keep them buying another membership. It's kind of sinister. So I like to pick up the slack, and I provide two types of introductions for my clients. One, for my high-level matchmaking clients, I'm their personal love slave, and I choose these clients very carefully. If I don't think it's a good investment for them, if I don't think I'm going to have an enjoyable journey through the process of these introductions, I can just feel it. I will encourage them to do dating a different way. So I like to do also the community service matches, and I don't know very many matchmakers who do this at all. And it's a regular course of activity here at my desk. Anybody who's done a consultation with me or has been in my boot camps, former clients, they're still eligible for introductions. And when I provide it, there's no fee attached, there's no contract. It's a mitzvah match, it's a gift, it's a blessing. And since I started doing those introductions, it was during COVID when I was bored. It's been amazing. And the efficacy of the mitzvah matches way higher than the introductions people are paying a lot of money for. So I've learned something, that the type of person who signs on with a matchmaker at a high level is not necessarily the type of person who's most likely to get into a relationship. So it's been a wonderful exercise for me to study.
Wow.
So that is wonderful insight. There is an analogy, actually, Julie. We have been interviewing people even outside of dating matchmaking industry, and there is the kind of consistency there that I hear more and more. Leveling up the field, matchmaking job candidates, fresh university graduates with with companies. Another one was with the talent actors, helping them to match them with the career, with the jobs, with the with the roles. Seems that matchmakers are out there personalizing this, humanizing this, bringing this, you know, personal touch and leveling up the field. It's an interesting analogy that it just connected in my mind again. You are leveling up the field in a dating industry. You're helping men who deserve better and helping women who deserve better, but can't do that on apps, for example, or other platforms.
I don't want matchmaking to be reserved only for the uber wealthy. That bothers me. I was the client. I know what it feels like to be a single girl who has a lot to offer. I work with a lot of people who are what I call deservedly selective. They've got their act together. They're attractive. They're educated. They've got good jobs. They've got a certain level of emotional intelligence. They've done some inner work. And the more we have to offer, the more selective we're going to be. And the more selective we are, the more challenging dating is, because the few guys or the few women who look good to everybody. It's why matchmaking is such a beautiful art, because we have the opportunity to have the bird's eye perspective and say, you know what? I like this introduction. And if I get a yes from the gentleman, whoa, that's a great thing. Then I have a suitor for her. A suitor. He's knocking on her door. He's interested. He's attracted. He wants to meet her. And then it's my job to present her to him and pray that he will say yes. And when he does, I'm excited. Then I have to go to her and pray that she'll say yes. And if she does, I have to orchestrate the first date details, because our culture has become so flaky. In the
It
old
is.
in the old days, when I started my company in 2001, I would just share the contact information, email addresses, and phone numbers, and I could count on people to find each other and get out on a date. Not anymore.
Anymore, huh?
Not anymore. Now, there are a lot of matchmakers who are charging a whole lot of money, and all they do is give out a phone number. That just blows my mind. I'm in the middle of an introduction right now, very important introduction. He's flying into Los Angeles from the middle of the country to meet two people. And so I have to set these dates up. I got to find the restaurant. I got to confirm with both people. I have to figure out the traffic issues in Los Angeles. Those are the types of things that a good matchmaker will do, because I don't want it to fall apart. I want it to be a gracious, warm, good experience of a first date.
Julie, actually, if it's not this case that you're working on, but is there another case that you would like to maybe tell us a success story, maybe your favorite success story? No need to name any names, it's private and all that, but maybe you can tell us like a story to remember for other matchmakers to get inspired, or for single people to get inspired.
Classic story of why matchmakers can provide opportunities that wouldn't otherwise exist. I had a female client who was beautiful, wonderful, lived in Los Angeles. We did a series of introductions together, mostly one date wonders. She wasn't getting to the second date, or she wasn't being invited to the second date. And then it was toward the end of her program, a new gentleman came in, became my client, and we did this consultation. And I pulled up her photo, and he said, "That's it. She's my girl." And I'm thinking, oh, she might not say yes, because she kind of went for tall, dark, and handsome, right? He wasn't exactly tall, dark, and handsome, and he's an incredible guy, a little older than she was thinking. So I went to her and I said, "What do you think?" And she said, "Well, he's not really my type, but thanks for asking. Thanks for keeping me in mind." I said, "I don't think you should pass on this one. I really think you should meet him because he meets your top three critical criteria. He thinks you're fantastic. He's already got the wedding planned. He's got the guest list all pulled together." And we laughed. And she said, "Well, I guess there's nothing wrong with seeing him." She goes out on the first date, tells me, he's not really my guy. He's smitten. He's ready to just pop the question. So I went back to her and I said, "I want you to keep your mind open. And if he extends an invitation, give him a yes." So then I helped him design a second date invitation that she could not refuse. He offered her a ticket to the ballet on a matinee on a Sunday, and she loves the ballet. And he kept trying to hold her hand, and she'd pull her hand away. He'd go in for the kiss, and she'd give him the cheek. She wasn't feeling it. But the third date he caused to happen. He asked her if she would come over and help him prepare for a dinner party all day long in the kitchen. She's a culinary expert, more so than he is. She said yes. And it was that day where they were smashing garlic together, crying over the onions they were cutting together. And she looked across the counter at this guy who doesn't look anything like any guy she's ever dated. And she realized she feels different. She feels like she can be her whole self and her best self. And they laughed and they had a great time. And she picked up the phone and called me from the bathroom. And she said, "You know what, Julie? I'm liking this guy. And I think you're right. I've been going on too many just one dates and I haven't been giving men a chance." They've been together for 18 years. They're married. I put them on TV. It's a classic story that reveals how we girls can develop attraction over time. And if we're only going out with Clooney types, if we're only going out with the it guy, we're going to miss a lot of opportunities. Those men are spoiled right now, just like the girl who looks like Barbie is typically spoiled with attention. And maybe they don't try so hard.
How many times I hear this, and I hope girls are paying attention. I hope the YouTube algorithm is gonna pop it up somewhere so that in the right time for them, so they can understand that story. For all the girls, I think important message, really
And I want
important
to say
message,
big
and
thank you
for
to you, Miss Furman. Big thank you. I have a revelation. We talked about a year ago, and while listening to you, I have flashback to your podcast. So Miss Furman has a podcast, Julie Furman's Cupid Coach podcast, and there are about 200 podcasts on there, advice, tips, how to improve yourself, self-coaching. It's like boot camp. Um, you matched make me, Miss Furman. You don't know about it, but I listened to your podcast, and now I'm in a relationship with wonderful lady here in Greece, and it's because of you. So thank you kindly.
I work with a lot of people on, what to say and how to approach people and eye contact and exchanging phone numbers. How did it happen for you, Arthur?
In a gym. We go into the gym together, but I'm shy. I'm not shy at work. I'm extrovert, but in real life, I'm really scared to talk to people. I'm afraid. So for me, the the most priceless advice from your podcast is to have courage. So I took small steps. We had Valentine Day, or we had some holiday, so I brought everybody cookies to gym. I gave special attention to her, and and I invited her for coffee. It was first attempt was denial, second attempt was denial, third attempt it was a yes, and we went, and it was evolutionary, step by step. We traveled together, and it's and now in the gym we're spotting each other. We do teamwork. You telling the story how this lady and gentleman work together on a kitchen, cook together, and we have exactly the same experience at the gym. Every single day we work together as team. We spot each other doing bench press, squats, and it's critical. We build trust this way. Team building activity. So you're phenomenal. I just want to say this. Thank you, Ms. Furman.
Thank you. It's beautiful.
I,
What I'm interested in is you approached her to go out and have a cup of coffee. Once, she declined. Second, she declined. The third time, she said yes. How did you get the courage to ask her for the third time?
It was because of your podcast. She said she didn't say no. She said no. It means like not now. I'm a little bit busy, or I want I want to see more of you. And she did. We work in gym for a few months already, so uh, indirectly she learned about me, how I am with other people too, friends that I have, and I guess that's what she requires. She's also shy. She's also introvert, and always with her headphones. And
it checks with your story, Julie, like about how women get
yes.
to like guys, how what it takes for girls to like a guy. Sometimes,
We're looking for, we can't help it, provider protector, even though women are making money now. We shoot guns. We, women are
become
capable.
presidents, right?
Yeah, women can become president. I mean, it's amazing. But we're looking for a guy who will be, watch out for us, a guy who treats people well. So Arthur's current girlfriend was paying attention to character. She was paying attention to whether he demonstrates thoughtfulness, kindness, compassion. And just by being your authentic self, she got to see who you really are. And I love that. And I love that you didn't turn it into just a romance chase. A lot of men will make that mistake. They will come onto a woman in a romantic, sexual kind of way because he's attracted to her. But she needs to know that his character is there, that he's kind, that he's
I find that
considerate.
guys are looking a lot, I know personally, and I maybe was like that before as well, looking for kind of a picky uppy, sort of picky uppy approach, like quick, like here I am, let's go, like a lot of confidence and stuff like this, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work all the time. Do you know what I mean? So it's
I
it's an
think that in a bar, in a flirting kind of an environment, people might connect that way on sort of a physical, visceral level. But in something like the gym, something like a coffee shop, it doesn't feel right to hit on somebody or to be hit on in that kind of sleazy sexual way. And what a woman is also really looking for, if she's interested in a relationship, she's looking for a guy who's looking for more than a hookup. She's looking for somebody that shares her value. And if her value is relationship, maybe lifelong love, she wants to sort out all the men who are just looking for fun and sex and action. So by demonstrating your character, Arthur, you won the girl. Congratulations.
now. I hope the guys are listening to this. Okay, now that's a story for the guys, I guess. I asked for one story. I got two priceless stories. I love it. I love it. This is gonna help somebody, you guys. It's gonna help somebody, and that's what it is. If you don't mind, I would like to shift our attention to technology a little bit. All right, and I would like to ask you if you, Julie, especially, about your journey with the technology. This is for those people who are looking for matchmaking software technology and maybe need a tip here, an advice, a recommendation, a review type of thing. So, what what technology were you using before? And I know you had a good story. Some matchmakers don't have a great story about the technology they use or how the kind of problems they get with technology sometimes. But
Well,
I'd love to hear your story here for all of our audience and how you got to, yeah,
I
how you
was
got.
blessed. In about 2001, I was fortunate to go to a networking meeting of just women. We were all entrepreneurs. We all had sort of a growth orientation mindset. And I met this woman who hated online dating, and she was a web developer. And she said, "You know what, Julie, if we can build something that will be a more dignified alternative to dating than the online sites, then the dating services and high priced matchmaking," she said, "you'll have a business you can run out of your home in your sweatpants until you're 95 years old." And I thought, wow, that sounds great. The biggest distinction that we made back then was it wasn't about hustling people into an office to buy a membership. I didn't like that. I wanted to embrace everyone, and I didn't want to waste any of those phone calls. So we built a technology system that enabled me to privately capture everybody. As I'm talking to them on the phone, I'm creating their profile. I gave them member portal access so they could go in and play with their profile, load their photos, and then they're fully available to me. And there were levels. And everything was great for a long time until the website started getting clunky. And then I called you guys at SmartMatchApp because so many of my colleagues use your technology. And I was afraid to move everything over. And it took us a while. We had to move over a lot of data, all my blogs, all of my events, all of my people, all the search levels, all the matches. We had to do all of that. But I've really gotten comfortable with it, and I'm very happy with it. It's fun that the system recommends matches for me. I can go in and do a specific search and find people and choose myself, but it's awfully nice if the suggestions are just there. And I'm like, whoa, how about Arthur and that cute girl from the gym? They would be fun together. And it's really been lovely. And the ability to crop photos, load photos, swap them out very easily, that's been lovely. And also, you guys give me the chance to load videos of people. I think that's delightful. You know, I came from the world of video dating where you'd look at the profile, you'd look at the photos, and then you'd put the VHS tape in the machine and you'd watch the video. And anybody could pick anybody, but not unlike online dating, a whole lot of people never got picked. A whole lot of people spent a lot of money, never got picked. So over the years, I've really enjoyed having the flexibility with software, and Smart Match app allows me to do this to weight people. So if I'm running a search, the people who are closest to me, my matchmaking clients, they'll come up first. But then also people I've done boot camp with, people I've done consultations with, they show up. And because I do a variety of different types of introductions, I'm able to match those people who've never been matched by a matchmaker because they've never spent $40,000 to hire the matchmaker. The prices that matchmakers are charging right now are mind blowing, and it bothers me because it keeps so many people out of the pool. And I want to be able to match an older lady. I want to be able to match a young guy. I want to be able to match everybody if I see a great opportunity. So I had to get flexible with my service model in order to be able to do that.
And how was your experience with Smart Matchup team during your onboarding and during your setup from the beginning?
I've been really pleased with the staff and the service that I received as a Smart Match app client. From the very beginning, if I needed help, there's been somebody to help me. And months down the road, if I need help, I know who to reach out to. And the team has been really responsive and professional. And your guys are so polite. You call me Miss Furman. It's so sweet. And my dear Julie, it's like it's so sweet. I'm like, nobody calls me my dear Julie. It's just wonderful. So I appreciate the professionalism and the kindness and the warmth and the sincerity that you guys bring to doing this well and giving us the tools to do our job well. I really feel it as your client, and I so appreciate it.
Uh,
Thank
uh,
you. That
I
is an amazing
sincerely,
feedback.
it touches the heart and soul. This comment just made my day, probably the whole week. I will remember it for a long time now. Let's let's shift gears to
Well,
the future
you know,
now.
Arthur, you're a friendly guy, Arthur. You're a warm, friendly guy, and we meet you at the conferences, and you're nice to everybody. And you told me that the company was service oriented, responsive, but I didn't really know because you're such a nice guy. And I wasn't sure if I would just drop off into some chasm after I was paying you guys. But no, you've taken very good care of me all the way through. And I know you will continue to. So I'm a big fan of Smart Match App.
You're
Thank
in
you.
great hands with us, for sure. We love, we care about what we do. We've been around for 10 years already, and nothing but love and care, not only for clients, but for each other as well. Um, we always pick up the phone. It's all about, it's like family, it's like sport team. That's like Roman Legion. We
It's a
have
match.
flanks, cavalry.
It's a
Yes, match. It's a perfect match.
It's a match inside of matchmaking team.
Let's talk about future now. It's kind of like Christmas Carol now. We talk about past, present, now future. What is your strategy? What is your vision for the next 5, 10 years? So where do you see Cupid's coach? Where do you see Julie Furman in 5, 10 years?
I'm excited to build out all the different service levels from free to VIP. The VIP level has been built out for a long time. I know how to do that very well. But also to be able to take my boot camp, which I do over 30 days, and make it available to people so that they can do it on their own at a more reasonable price point, and thousands of people can take it, which means thousands and thousands of people will be doing better at the gym and when they go to a coffee bar at knowing what to say and what to do. I love the idea of people not relying only on a matchmaker to find their way into a relationship. There's usually more to it than just finding the right person. How do we embrace the possibility? How do we show up? You know, I watched an introduction fall apart after 5 dates because he was putting out the effort. He was doing everything. He was doing all the driving. He was paying for everything. He was pursuing. She didn't offer anything. And this is a high value man. But by not offering anything, by not bringing a picnic, by not bringing him a little card or a gift, or offering to buy ice cream, or offering to drive to his part of town, she didn't offer any of that. She lost her guy. If she had been listening to the podcast or she had done the boot camp, she would have realized, oh my gosh, maybe I need to show my spirit of generosity in order to catch a guy like that. See what I
and,
mean?
and I'm curious about the end of the story. Did this guy get matched by Julie Furman?
Well, interestingly, he's one of the people who's coming into Los Angeles in a week.
Oh,
Got two introductions set up for him. She
you
lost the guy. She
you
lost him.
lost him, but you are working on his dream match now.
He can
He's a
sleep
dream.
safe.
He's a dream. He's the kind of guy that women come here hoping to meet. And I can make the first date happen, but I can't make the fifth date happen.
Your
He's
clients have to work on themselves, or they have to be already in that place where they are matchable, dateable, self-care, self. There's a
Yeah.
lot of self-improvement looks like going on
You know
life.
what, Tim? I've been doing this for 34 years. I don't have the time or the energy to work with people who aren't curious, who aren't interested to know how come dating hasn't worked out for me? Who's the common denominator, right? So there is an element of growth orientation, of spirituality, of positivity, seeing willingness to see the beauty in people instead of just looking for the flaws. My mother-in-law is the mascot for my company. I'll show you what she looks like. Have you guys met Frida Furman?
No.
This lady,
Uh,
can you see
Not
her?
Yes.
beautiful.
She's the mascot for my company because she was the most successful dater that I knew, not only in her 20s and how she met Mr. Furman to begin with, but then later in her 80s, she did dating like I've never seen any senior citizen female do dating. She had 3 more boyfriends before she passed. And when she was getting on in age, she asked me to tell people, she said, you just tell, especially the ladies, the secret to doing dating well is to look at the donut, not the hole. Look for what's beautiful and wonderful and worthy of appreciating as opposed to what might be lacking. So she sits on my desk and she's the mascot for my company. Do you know what? Do you want to know what her critical criteria was? The thing that had to be there more than anything else in the guy?
Absolutely, yes.
He had to drive her around at night. If he couldn't drive at night, she would push him to the side and get a new one.
What's her? Tell me more. Tell me more about that.
Well,
What is
when
her?
you're a woman who's in her 80s and you don't like to drive, I think we had taken away her driver's license by that time because she wasn't very good behind the wheel.
Very
So
practical.
she was very social and she needed to get places. And if a guy could play cards and if he could drive, those were the 2 things.
Wonderful story.
Fun question. Miss Furman, have you ever considered, because you have so much love and the message, the general message you're passing, that love, take a look, you're looking at the donut, look at the donut, don't look at the hole. Have you ever considered running for the office? With people like you in politics, this world would be a much better place.
Seriously,
Oh
seriously.
no, I've never considered going into politics. I'm too transparent. I would tell somebody something they wouldn't want to hear. It's one of the reasons why I like doing my mitzvah matches, my charity matches, my community service matches, is because I have more permission to speak freely with people. There's something about when people spend a lot of money for matchmaking, there's a transaction happening and they can't help it. They expect to meet a higher quality person than they're meeting on their own.
Is it a good thing?
I can't really make that happen. I might get them the first date, but I can't get them the second, third, or fourth date.
There's a
So
whole combination of things, I suppose. Listening to you is wonderful. We've got so many inspiring stories, actually, useful stories for our viewers here today. But it looks like it's the work that they have to do on themselves. It's probably one like core tendency that I see, the work they have to do themselves, right? And it starts from them
that's right.
before even going out and looking for a match, right?
Yeah. It all starts inside. In my 4 week boot camp, the first week is all about falling in love with ourselves.
Ourselves. Yeah.
It's been said, and I think it's true, that we can only allow love from someone else to the extent that we already love ourselves. In other words, that we already think we're deserving of it. And dating can be quite an ego deflating process. Rejection's not easy for men or women. One of the reasons why dating is more challenging, providing introductions for women is more challenging than it is for men, is because I only get to make it happen if I've got his yes. So I learned that the only way to serve women properly is to only share good news with us. Don't tell me that you tried to match me and the guy said no, he wants a tall, skinny Asian chick. Don't tell me that. Only tell me when you've got me a suitor. That works better. And so women are 3 times as much work for me as men. And I'm happy to put in the extra work because I know what it feels like to be that girl.
Yeah.
And because so many of the other matchmakers have just abandoned women altogether for personal matchmaking, I pick up the slack. And often I do that with my mitzvah matches. And it feels good. It's the reason why I'm still energized in doing this. If it's just chasing after high dollar clients, that's not fun for me anymore. I never was.
I
Dearest Miss
just hope
Furman,
that they hear.
thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to interview you. Thank you for your time, for these wonderful stories, for this message. Just God bless people like you, businesses like you. We need more of people and businesses like you
We
and
will,
yours.
share your contact details in the video, in the links, and all that. They will be all in YouTube, description and all that. But I
If
still
some
would
of
like
our
to ask you,
viewers
Julie.
let me ask one question about potential clients, actually, because some of our viewers maybe would like to hire you as a matchmaker, work with you, or get educated, or maybe another matchmaker watches this interview and would want to collaborate with you. What's the best way to reach out to you? If you're a person, if you're looking for a serious relationship, or if you're a matchmaker looking for collaboration, what's the best way to contact you?
Best way to jump in here with me if you're a single person, just go to juliefurman.com and register. I will see it. I will reach out, welcome you, offer you a call. Anybody who finds me through SmartMatchApp, absolutely. I'll give you a half-hour phone call for free. We'll find out about you. As long as you speak English and use a computer, I can help. And whether somebody chooses to spend a lot of money or not, that's not the reason that I'm interested in them. I'm interested in men and women both who are high quality individuals, which means they're sincere about finding relationship, and they bring a lot of value to the table. High value single people, meaning they're kind, they're ethical, good character, reasonably good looking. They take care of themselves from the inside out. And I can't do it alone. I need great technology. That's why Julie Furman and SmartMatchApp are a really good match.
Every single word that was just said is so backed by
Treasure.
experience. It was like gems on top of gems. I mean, literally, even the words you choose, reasonably good looking. It is just so well said. It says so much at the same time.
Well,
Um,
I want to help lots and lots and lots of people. So your question about what does the future look like? Using Smart Match app, I have the opportunity to build out a much larger platform with lots of different service levels and opportunities. And I'm very interested in that. Creating products. I'm interested in creating a community portal level where we can have wonderful webinars and seminars, and that's all down the road. So I know that I won't be here forever.
but your matches
But your
will live on,
legacy
I
will
think.
live.
So your
The
legacy will
legacy
live.
and the advice will live on. And that is what I hope to be able to do so that people will be 50 years from now doing better dating because we were here doing this work right now.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Julie, personally, for your warmth, for your advice today, packed with advice for girls and guys and other matchmakers as well. So learn, exchange. Please reach out to Julie. Please, please. You will be. I think you'll get a really really good service, and if you fit those criteria that are not hard to fit, I think reasonably this I'll borrow this reasonably good looking. I mean, anybody can be reasonably good looking. Doesn't
Great.
matter the height, the width. Doesn't matter. You can be reasonably good looking.
And
That's
that
that's
means taking care of ourselves. So physically fit, mentally and emotionally fit. Those are the things that people are coming to me for. They're not asking me for a train wreck.
fantastic. Just fantastic. Amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. I love you to pieces.
Let's stay after
Talk
the
to you
meeting.
soon.
I will stop
Yes.
record, but we'll
Oh,
stay
yeah.
for behind the scenes. Bye bye for now. Thank you for watching. Love and hugs. Opa. Miss Furman, it was like the best interview